Check. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Microphone's rolling now. Good morning, Sam, MIT, Warren, Brennan, XP. What's up, guys? Aaron. Had another good day trading. Nothing crazy, but another good day. We'll dive into it a little bit. IMAX, eh? Yeah, we gotta wait that 5 minutes just so that some more people can roll in here, so I don't start talking and then I have to repeat myself 100 times, right? It's all good. Increases my watch time too. Morning, Antonio. Morning, Slut Muffin. Watch me get demonetized for saying your name. Good morning, Gert. Good morning, Quinn. Good morning, Rich. Good morning, Dawson. Good morning, Aincors. Oh man, here they come. Here comes the flood. The swarm. Yeah, 1,700. We're probably averaging about 400 subs a day right now. 400 a day. That's pretty good. Good morning, Oren. Let's get this started. Screw this countdown. Cat just jumped on my lap. What's up, guys? Had a good day. Let's turn down the music just a little bit, just so it's like a little bit of ambiance here. Just a little bit of chill. So I got some good news, guys. Good news. I bought a camera. I'll show you. I bought this one. Canon EOS R. This guy. With like a nice lens and everything. I think it was after the microphone and everything. It's like 4,500 Canadian. So we're gonna get some really good B-roll. We're gonna get rid of this webcam. I was using my phone before as a webcam, but then I gotta set it up and it's annoying. So I'm gonna get some better angles. I'm hiring my girlfriend to redo the whole back here, so this area, so it looks nicer. So that we can have some like nice background and everything. You know, I'm gonna give her like $500 or something so she can just like put plants and lights and all that jazz. Good morning, guys. Finally caught a stream. Good job, Peter. Yeah, it's hard to catch the stream sometimes. Cool. So what do you guys want to see? Forex money hitting? Yeah, so we made one trade today so far on the London-ish open, right? I'll just briefly explain it here. I'm putting it all into my the Discord I've been posting all the trades, I believe, and I'm also like recording them a little bit, and I'm gonna put them on the video for the weekend, and basically just talk about, you know, the FTMO challenge there and everything like that, and basically show off, because Ty's fans have been freaking pestering me, so it's gonna feel really nice when I can show them that like FTMO can be done like in half the time. Actually, I would have been done by now if I was risking normal risk profile, 1% per trade. I would have been done already. In 3 days I would have finished. But I had my first losing trade, I think. Okay, so the trade was very simple, right? Previous day's action was very bearish, right? So this momentum is hard to stop, right? It's kind of like a freight train, right? You can see how engulfing that is on the higher time frames, right? Something like this, just very powerful move. Our overall trend is down, so a little bit more bias there. You're seeing sweeps of these tops, so just everything in the general picture is telling us that we have a really negative feeling, really negative vibe to going in today, right? So all I was looking for on London Open was very simply, I wanted to look for a short, right? So I saw this wick come up and I saw it close back below this level, and it tested this order block, right? So that was untested supply zone. And I figured, you know, if it was coming back up, I would have been wrong and it would have broken up. So stop right above there. And then we shorted down to this level. I actually cut it off a little bit short because I was impatient, and it's not necessarily, you know, that's just a mistake, I'll be honest. I think I cut it off once it got down to here, that level. But in reality, I knew it was coming to this line, and that was just silly of me. So I could have had 4R, it was 3R there, and then we took one loss right here, so I went and took a little bit of a break. You can see, I figured most likely it's going to be coming up to this level, and I think I might jump over to my other screen here at some point in the stream if it does come up here, because I would like to reshort this, because the trend is still really nice. This is the London area that I would love to see a rejection off of once again in the New York session, right? So we'll see how it reacts up here, of course, so I might jump over to take a trade, but you can see, you know, this was the level on the higher time frame. You can see up here, it got swept, didn't it? Right. Higher time frame got swept right here. So after we started breaking back up, I said, okay, we might as well get long. This is probably what's going to happen. Bounce down, go up, and then continue for the shorts, right? Continue for the shorts. But unfortunately, when it did fill my order, which was right at this line, it just dumped down, and it hit it to the exact pip. Like, here, look at the low here. Do you see? Look at the lows right here. You see this? Watch this. 7748. Look at where my stop was. 7748. There wasn't any. It's really unfortunate. 7748, man. That's like the most annoying thing. And then it goes exactly to target, doesn't it? So that would have been another 2R. That would have been another great day. I'm only risking 0.5%, so it's not a huge deal. My actual account is barely moving, but the FTMO challenge account is like, you know, 5% is $500, or 0.5% is $500. So, you know, you don't have to risk very much when you're trading with 100K. Cool. What's up, Dream? How you doing, Peter? Yeah. Good morning. Indexes? You want to look at indexes? Alright. Dinguses assemble. Yeah, we'll look at Euro Pound also. Let's look at the stock market just briefly, what's going on in the stock market here. Oh man, yeah, it's dumping down a bit. I still think it's gonna come higher, guys. I might be wrong. Like, I'm not very good with. Let's look at this. Yeah, I still think so. I might be wrong though. You know, I might be wrong. There's no reason to like jump on the bandwagon to start shorting this anytime soon though. If this comes down, you're gonna have a whole lot. You're gonna have like 2 weeks of being able to short it again if it starts breaking down. So you're not gonna miss it, right? So there's no point in doing anything yet, honestly. On the higher time frames, we're just waiting. Unless you're trying to get intraday scalps, which I don't do on indexes. I mean, you guys are welcome to. I'm not really going to do them. It acts completely differently than currency pairs. So that's why I don't really trade it. It doesn't manipulate the traders as the same way. And I really like those, you know, those big old wicks stopping people out, things like this, and I don't see that on the S&P, so that's part of the reason why I don't trade it. We can look at gold. I know you guys are really interested in gold all the time. I know I told you guys that this was going to break up to the upside. We've just been whining. We're looking for that impulsive move, and it looks like the New York Open did actually cause that impulsive move today. Well, most likely at least. It's breaking out of this high. We'll have to see how it actually closes at the end of the day. That's what's going to really matter, right? The daily time here is if we can close above this, then I'd be satisfied saying, okay, gold's probably going to go a little bit higher, right? That level right there. Oh, what did I just do? This level right here is what I'm talking about, right? We close the daily above there, we'll probably be good, right? I think it's really likely that we do, because that's what we were thinking was going to happen anyways. And then gold, you know, we could go to like 2K or something like that. Even I'm not sure. There's not a huge target on gold. I think it's something that you just want to keep looking for longs. every time you see a long. And this would have been a really good long on the New York Open. You can see quite obviously. Does a little fake out on the Open, right? A little fake out. You faked below here as well, right? That level there. Even does it fake below this even? Look at this. It's like it's a little bit everything. All of these levels it broke. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then came back, retest. I mean, if I saw this would have been a really good entry, but I don't look at gold a whole lot either. Just to be honest, right? Yeah, cool. How do you know? How do you draw your zones? Is it order blocks? Yeah, it's essentially order blocks, supply and demand. I got a couple of videos on it. I did one top-down analysis that kind of gives you a little bit of info. I did one like supply and demand, but basically, very simply, the last candle before an impulse move, right? From the open to the bottom, right? Like this. Right. The last candle in a down move before an impulse move up will be your demand. And vice versa. You know, there's a couple little exceptions to it. Last candle before an impulse move from the open to the top. You know, see? Right here to the top. That's your supply. See how it reacts there, right? It's obviously going to stop people out, right? So the zones aren't super important where they even lie. It's just like a rough idea generally, because generally you're going to get stopped out anyways, right? If you try to trade the zones, you're going to get stopped out anyways. Give an overview of cable. Sure, man. Cable's pound, right? I get them confused. Fiber and cable, I think, right? I get them mixed up sometimes. Yeah, so this is I'm actually surprised that it didn't dump further, whereas the euro today it was super bearish, but the pound didn't. I would have been more interested in shorting the pound actually, but the setup that the euro actually printed was actually much nicer. So you can see this obvious fair value gap, right? So this obvious, it's called fair value gap, FVG, where it's just gapped price action, where there's resting orders above. There wasn't really much price action trading right here, or trading right there, not price action trading, but just trading. So here on the pound, you know, they got a similar thing, but you're not actually even reaching the level, right? So I wasn't satisfied. And then this would have been the Asia level that I wanted to sweep above. But we didn't even actually reach that, so I had no interest in shorting. And by the way, guys, I entered this right here. Just so you know which candle I entered on. Right? It was this. This was the trade. So I entered on that retrace, and I watched the 1 minute, right? So you can see, this is the level that I wanted to enter on, right? That large candle. So I got the perfect entry. There was zero drawdown, not a single pip of drawdown. Just like there wasn't a single pip of if I had 0.1 pip further, I would have been safe on that one. But too bad. This one was absolutely perfect. Okay. We're gonna look at Hunter. What's your view on Ty? I feel like he's legit. I mean, I think you might already know that. I think you might already know that question, the answer to that question. Prediction on EU. Yeah, we already kind of looked at EU. I thought this was the prediction, right? And it kind of did that, you know, it just dumped down a little bit lower than I was expecting. I thought it would jump off of this one, right? And then come up and then down. I think it's gonna continue the downtrend after it comes up here, right? Somebody wants to look at E pound. let's look at what, oh, it's actually rallying decently. Okay, I wasn't necessarily expecting that. So if we just, I'm on the daily here, aren't I? Yeah. So if we just draw that this was actually a liquidity zone, right? So I haven't been paying attention to any of these other pairs, right? But if I had been, this was actually be a really nice target for longing to, simply because we had multiple tests. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests of that level, so we knew that there's going to be stops here, right? So it was going to be really obvious that we're going to come up here. So our options on this point now is we have long possibility here, right? I mean, this one already tested, actually. It already tested. This looks really good. Look at this. Those levels being swept, and then we started completely rejecting off. It would have been even better if we were watching this live, and then we could get in even lower. We could get in like right, actually no, be right there even. Wait for a retest maybe. But the thing is here, there's a little bit of contradiction, right? Since now we have the sweep here and it's a major downtrend, I'm not interested in longing that anymore, right? But I'm just kind of showing you guys the viewpoints. You know, you might get a long here. It could break out more. It's kind of up in the air. I'm seeing the same sort of thing in two different spots, right here and here. And so I'm just not sure which one is going to break. Most likely the long-term one will break, right? So most likely it would have to go down. That's the more probable, right? Because it's downtrend. We're seeing a sweep of these highs. It'll probably come down. That's my guess. But we could easily come up here too if we do go up. That would be the target. If we start closing above here on the higher time frames, we'll go to there. Pretty much for sure. So EU is actually doing something right now here. Let's take a look here. So this is what I wanted to watch for. So that would have hit the target, but that's too bad. So I want to see what happens here on the 1 minute. If it's just really strong power, it's just really strong, powerful candles, then there's nothing I can do. It'll be unfortunate, right? I'll just wait. It could reject really quickly. You know, this is not a trade I want to enter in. I want it to slow down when it comes up here, and then start breaking levels on the 1 minute, and then I can actually get in. But I'm just not interested yet. It could come up here and actually stop out those short sellers that entered right here. That would be even better. I'd be interested in shorting there. Yeah, you guys are talking about Ty, eh? Yeah, I mean, you know, Ty, he could be perfectly fine at trading. He makes some videos about, like, I think he made one where he like did some YOLO flip account shit, and I just don't take those things seriously. Like, anybody who posts that stuff, like, it's generally to just get some sort of like sales, like making people think that they're just really good at trading. So I just don't believe people like that. It's just kind of the way I view things, right? And even if he doesn't sell like courses or whatever, he still has like other streams of revenue, right? From the fame he gets from it, right? So like rap or whatever. I think he makes music. Anyways, yeah, Ty is good. He make trading simple, but hunters seem to be more of fact on the market and how to approach it. Yeah, that's kind of, you know, that's kind of my view. Is I'm just trying to like break down the market, and so that you guys can understand like what logically happens behind the scenes, right? Rather than just saying, okay, you short here. It's much better to teach you guys why you would short there, or so why you would. So basically, like, we can actually use this as an example. The reason why people generally want to short here is because there's a lot of trading going on in this range, right? This whole range here, it spent a lot of time there. So there's a lot of traders buying and selling on the highs and lows, trying to basically range trade that, right? And then the second you see a really momentous drop like that, you can basically assume that all of these traders that were either range trading up here, or they were trying to catch this high, or they were trying to short right before it actually broke down or something, they all got left in the dust, right? All those limit orders, they're still waiting there, right? So we can assume that when it comes back up, those limit orders are still going to be resting there, right? From all those range traders. Plus, people are going to see, okay, we've just broken down, so now more people are entering the market because they're willing to short, right? So there's going to be more downward pressure when you actually do reach this level again, right? So there's two reasons why we want to short places like that. So just looking at EU right now. This could be good. I'm just not sure yet, right? It does look like it pulled a reversal probably on the New York Open, but we can watch and see. We got the hourly here. This is the order block that I'm interested in, right? If we get above this level right here, then I would be safe to say, okay, there's no chance that it's gonna break down again further today, and then I would think that tomorrow we're gonna be coming up for a higher high, right, for Friday. That's my guess. But anywhere in here, from here to here, was basically an unacceptable short, right? EU just shot up a little. EU. Yeah, we're looking at EU right now, dude. We can look at the yens there in a second. Yeah. Good. You're on, Justin. You're on a U-Swiss short. Good job, man. Good job. Why don't I make use of MA and Fibonacci? Yeah, they're useless. That's what's wrong with them. Every indicator is useless. I'll be as bold to say it. Every single indicator is useless, right? I use, if you want to call it an indicator, the market sessions. And that is also useless in the sense that it doesn't actually do anything for me but make the time easier for me to see. So I can say, okay, instead of looking at the time down here, I can say, okay, that's when London opened, right? That's when the New York opened. It's just easier for me to see on the chart. It doesn't actually tell me anything, right? Just like every other indicator. Every indicator doesn't tell you anything. Because they're all based around price action anyways, right? So if you're looking, yes. See, that's why, you know, there's going to be a lot of controversy. You think not every indicator is useless. I'm telling you, in my opinion, every single indicator doesn't do anything for you, right? If you know how to read price action, then every indicator is useless, because every indicator is basically just telling you a dumbed down version of what price action tells you, a delayed version, or even a wrong version of what price action is telling you, right? If it's a moving average, that's like an average of price action. It's not even right. It's not even what's actually happening. It's just like an average over time. So anyways, let's look at CAD JPY. Somebody was asking for that earlier. Volume, in my opinion, it's a bit iffy. Volume for me is just very confusing because you don't know what is high volume and what is low volume. So it's just up to the user input, and everyone's going to read volume differently. So it's not useful in my opinion, again, because then you just have to kind of make guesswork out of it, right? Just like Elliott Wave too. Elliott Wave is a guesswork indicator, and it doesn't actually really tell you anything. Okay. Cool. So you see on the higher time frame here, whoever was asking for CAD JPY, I mean, This was a nice sweep of the stops there. We have this major downtrend. Let's look at the high time frame. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, down. We're all good to go down. I would like it to come up here eventually. We got a base to break there, right? But it's coming down right now, so in day trading side of things, we're just keen on shorting. This has been swept right here. So most recent price action is telling us that it's going to come up, right? Makes sense. Breaking this level here. Let's look at the 1 minute. Break of market structure. Look at this. Boom, right there. So we've broken that and we're coming back up. Most likely it comes back down here after testing that untested zone and then bounces up. So we test this, right? Bounce down, retest that level, come back up, and then we're going to stop out people again. We're going to test this level here and then we're going to come down. Simple. Just reading the most recent price action basically. That's essentially all that is. Right, we have this untested level. Right, we stopped out those. That gave us cause to move into the liquidity zone here, and then we've pulled that liquidity. We're gonna try to use that to make momentum so that we can come back up and fill the resting orders that were sitting here. Simple, simple, simple. Simple, simple, simple. All right. I mean, all indicators are bad, but if you pair them out with 4 other indicators and filter them out, the bad signals, then you should be fine. I think that's an even worse idea, man. Because then you're going to have so much conflicting views. You need to make trading simple, man. If you're using 4 indicators to figure out what's going on, you're going to have half of the time, 3 of them are going to be telling you one thing, 1 of them is going to be telling you a different thing, and then what do? Right? And then, you know, when 4 of them is all telling you one thing, then a ton of other people are going to be also seeing that one thing. So what do you think the market maker does, right? When he knows that everybody is going to be following that indicator, because it's a perfect setup, right? Perfect setup. So the market maker is just going to fuck you, right? It's as simple as that. Am I a student of ICT? I recently started watching him because everyone keeps saying that I talk a lot like ICT or I trade a lot like ICT. One guy commented on my video saying, I teach like ICT, but I suck. So there you go. I've definitely sucked compared to ICT for sure. But yeah, from my understanding so far, is I trade very similar to ICT. There's a couple little differences. I talk about like trend a little bit differently than him for sure. But the same logic of like, you know, just getting fucked by the market maker is kind of the same shit, right? All right. So somebody wanted to look at AJ and also GJ. I mean, okay, we'll look at both of them like super quick. I don't want to just look at a bunch of like yen pairs because yen is so freaking boring, man. Yeah, so same old thing, like downtrend here. So the yen pairs are doing well. Why? Because probably there's a little bit of uncertainty in the market, so yen pairs will generally do well, right? The yen will do well, so the yen pairs will do poorly. So same idea. I think if we're just kind of confirming with the CAD there, we have this untested area that I'm not interested in shorting until we come back up to a previous major untested area necessarily. You have this right here on the lower time frames, like 6 tests of that level, so we need to fill that, right? I mean, that's not necessarily untested, but this is, right? We need to fill that liquidity right there, right? I'm not interested in shorting this until we get up here and then stop that out, you know. We can say this. I might put an alert here actually, because that would be a really good trade once we break above that, because there's no way that this is gonna break up. It's gonna stop those guys out and then break down for sure. Odd JPY, we'll nail those ones off too. Same idea. I think odd in general was also bearish. Odd U, yeah, pretty bearish. So this is gonna be super bearish. Targets, well, let's see here. Where could it go to if we're confirmed that it's going to go down? Well, it's kind of already reached a target that we were interested in. Next level down would be probably this breaker, honestly. Probably this level here. Order block. Yeah, indicators are a way of telling you what's already happened. Yeah, basically, kind of. I mean, everything is a way of telling you what already happened, right? Including price action. Just price action is the most recent thing happening, right? Thank Hunter. That's why I like your approach to trade, and I'm not going to make use of them again. But practical base, just pure price action. I mean, you guys are welcome to use indicators. I know some people they use Fibonacci is super popular. I got it. I started like looking around with it, and I put the this one, because I know that this is like a range that a lot of people like to watch between the 618 and the 786, I guess. But you can just find the same levels on price action anyways, right? So this was the same level as the 618. So I don't find them useful because I can just see the levels anyways, right? And then this was the other level that I said, isn't it? So the retracement comes down to one of those two. So it's just funny that it just lines up anyways, so it doesn't really do anything for me. Yeah, if you guys are finding value in this, just go ahead and hit that like button. It improves your win rate by 1% every single time you hit the like button. Mark up GA. Look at GA. Who is ICT? Inner Circle Trader, man. ICT is... Yeah, his stuff is boring, but he's smart. Please fix my mic. Yeah, man, I'm ordering a new one, but everything's on back order. I got a $1,500 mic coming in, and I just ordered a $4,500 camera. So we're gonna upgrade the stream quality and the B-roll and everything. And I just got the new computer too, so so I think everything should be really good. I bought a new chair also. I think I told you guys about that one too. I just want the setup here to be like really nice. Friggin' sitting in this chair all day now. Cool. GA, yeah, we'll look at GA. Gonna hit that like button to increase the win rate. Immediate likes. How much it took you to become profitable and consistent? Man, not very long. A lot of effort, but not very long. I'm not gonna look at oil, dude. You keep asking for WTI. I'm not gonna look at oil. Oil sucks, man. Just don't trade oil. Okay, what do we say? GA, I think, right? GA, yeah. Just blew $90. That's okay, man. $90 is nothing. You can make $90 in a day of work, I'm sure. Okay, GA. Pound, generally very bearish anyways, right? So we know going into this, pound gonna be bearish. Mind you, Aussie is a little bit bearish too, right? So it might not be as bearish as the other ones. We can see high time frame. See that? That's a level that we're interested in, isn't it? That's a nice order block. It tested it here, came down a little bit lower. It definitely could rally off of this. The thing is though, I always tell you guys, don't be too zealous. Don't jump into it just because we see this happening, right? We need to start the actual trend in the other direction. And where does the trend on the higher time frame start? You know, probably up here, isn't it? Because this is the previous high, so we're gonna have to break above the previous high, aren't we? In order to change the trend. But then even if we break above that high, we still have this level that just might reject off of, so it might just wick up and then come down. There's not a whole lot you can do on this pair. Just note that it might bounce here, but if it doesn't, then what would we be looking for? I mean, you might be interested in like shorting this too on this date. No. Tomorrow there might be a good short up here. Yeah, maybe remind me tomorrow to look at this to see what happened. This might be a good short tomorrow right here. Not today though. Do not short this today. It's just gonna, if it slowly comes up and then the Asia range goes flat. So this is my guess. If I had to just give it a, guess, where's this? Where's that one? Okay. Yeah, right here. This is my guess. Okay, slow climb. Right? And then Asia session. I don't know. Asia flat. London open. Down. I think I got the timing about right there. Yeah, that'll be like 2 a.m. my time. Yeah, that'll be good. That's my guess. And then, but you would only short it to like the lows here again, right? So it'd be something like this. Something like this, I would guess. Right. Oops. Yeah, and then close it out before the end of the weekend. Yeah. USD ZAR, I'm not going to look at currencies that, you know, people don't use. Sorry, man. There's no volume, there's no, like, spreads are super high. The trend just goes on forever. There's no analysis to look at. USD ZAR is going up. I'll just tell you that right now. Compared to ZAR, USD will go up forever. So there's no analysis. Okay. What a mess of a chart. This one? How is this a mess, dude? What, do you not like my stripes? Can you not understand what's going on? What if I draw circles? Does this make more sense to you? And then arrows? A little bit of a range there. Maybe some fibs so we can see. Yeah. And definitely we'll just top it off with a horizontal line in the middle of nowhere. How's that? You guys understand? What button do you press to make them liquidation boxes? You press the badass button.
You can do it!
It's kind of annoying. I got this thing for Christmas.
Do what you love.
Do what you love.
You create your reality.
It's like a few sayings.
Feed fear a suck it sandwich. You are a badass.
That's the one I was looking for. I was hoping it would land on the badass one, because it's the only one that actually says anything about being a badass. The rest of them are just kind of like annoying. Oh, it makes so much more sense. Yeah, I'm glad. It's the red, right? It's the red that does it? Because generally my charts are blue. Generally my charts are blue. So maybe it's the red. This man stayed trolling. Yo, I'm so excited to get like the new mic. It'll come down like a boom here, and then I'm gonna get one of those like mixer pads so I can, what's the word? Fuck around? Yeah, that's the word. Fuck around. Like we can like copy sounds and then like push the buttons and I don't know, voice changers and shit like this. Should be fun. Euro NZD. Yeah, we'll look at some. So saying 100x long USD ZAR. Yeah, of course, man. 100x. I guess you're referring to BitMEX. I don't think you can 100x long in Forex. Yeah, that's the one. Go XLR. But that's the thing. They're sold out. Every single Go XLR, everywhere is sold out. I looked at like 20 different places, and they're all sold out. And the Shure microphone is sold out too. Let's look at Euro NZD. This guy keeps freaking spamming, or maybe it's somebody else. Yeah. It might have been somebody else. What's my take on cryptos? Yeah, long-term bullish. Long-term bullish, right? I have no reason to believe that crypto is just going to fail, right? So I think it's just going to continue getting more and more hype, right? What did we say here? Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Genius. Genius. This was previously, of course. So let's see if we can do it again and again be a genius. Realistic percentage per year. It depends who you are, right? If you're like a long-term swing trader, maybe like 30%. 30% per year would be good. If you're a day trader like me, I would shoot for a minimum of doubling your account every single year. If you know what you're doing, right? And then like a maximum of like tripling, right? Like any more than like tripling your account would just be ridiculous. Okay, so and then obviously like once you start taking profits, then that won't apply anymore because you'll be living off of that money, right? So that it's a little bit different once you start living off the money, right? So if you doubled your account every single year, then you would just be a billionaire within 10 years, right? Okay. So this is good. This is good. I'll just draw out a box here. Just a random box. Why not? Random box right there. Yeah, so we're slowing down. We're slowing down. It's a little bit tough. This is obviously going to be a point that it's going to come back down to, I think. But I don't think it's... I don't know if it's going to come all the way back down to this. That's the thing. I think it's... If you could get a short in, right? I never like to advise to, like, enter trades this late in the day, though. But, I mean, there could be a good short here. Maybe. The only thing is... It's just ranging. And even though that this is just, like, a nice little... let me draw... Like, this is, like, a nice little... You know, you might think that it looks like a church temple or something, like a church altar in the middle of like all the buildings or whatever, and you say, oh, hail, Jesus must be coming to save us and take us to hell, right? I don't know, and just nuke this to the ground. So maybe that's what you're thinking, like you see a church symbol and you say, okay, this is going to hell. But the reality is it's still going up, right? It needs to break down below here. So unless we can make a new high, right now we have to make a new high, right? We have to make a new high and then break down, and then you can short it down to this level only. Only to that level, right? Because this is really far and where there's no guarantee that we're going to come all the way back down to there. Yeah. There's nothing you can do here, unfortunately. Unless we make a new high and then, like, sweep and break, right? Something like that. But, yeah. Hey, Hunter, why don't you join FTMO? I did, man. Here, look. I started... Just because I'm already funded by somebody else, but I started... this to prove to you guys that I'm profitable. I started on Monday. We're halfway done, right? Monday, halfway done. There you go. I'll be done it next week, probably. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to jinx it. But, most likely it'll be done sometime next week. I might slow it down a little bit just to like make sure that, you know, I'm doing it properly. So I might like take 3 weeks to do it or something. I don't know. But yeah, just to show you guys that I can actually make money. We're doing the FTMO. Wait, what You would say live off the money. Why not live beneath your beneath beneath? Why does that look so weird? Okay, I know the word, but beneath. This looks so weird. Your means and keep compounding the account. Yeah, I mean that's basically what I do, man. Personally. The only reason usually I don't spend very much personally. I'm kind of like a little bit Jewish. Like I'm not Jewish, but I just, being racist here. Not racist, but what is it? Religious. Whatever, if that's a word or not. And I just don't like spending money generally. I'm spending a lot of money right now. Just because I want to make sure that you guys have a good viewing experience. So the computer, the microphone, the camera, all this shit when it comes in, then that'll be great. But generally, I don't live off of very much money, and then I just keep compounding. What music do I have in the background? So I'm running this thing. So if you want to give me affiliate money, it's like $50 a year. I have a link in my description probably, and then I think I get $10 off you or something like that. Just so you know. It's just focus music. There's different radio stations or whatever that you just listen to, and it's just different focus musics. There's one that's my favorite, but I can't put it on stream because then YouTube gets mad because it uses actual songs. Have I seen how much hate I got from that video? Yeah, of course, dude. I read every single comment. And I try to reply to all of them that are actually anything, right? A lot of them are just go die in a fire, you suck. And then I just delete them because there's no point. There's no productivity out of something like that. How long did it take to become profitable? Oh, yeah. I think you asked that earlier and I didn't really answer. It was about 6 months after I started Forex until I knew of a way to become profitable, and then made some money off of that. Not a ton of money. I'm doing much better now. But it was about 6 months until I started to understand how to actually make money, with a proven I follow a proven system. It took me only about 6 months to prove data, and make sure it's working. Yeah, the stream's available for 24 hours, and then it goes to unlisted, and you can find it on my channel in a playlist afterwards. Any more here, guys? Look at this. We're gonna look at this frickin' tomorrow, because I told you guys to remind me. Remind me tomorrow to look at this, and I'm gonna completely forget. And it's just gonna freak me out. What's the best course to follow? I mean, just listen to what I'm teaching you here on stream, dude. It's free. And it's the best. That's the whole that's what I'm going for here, man. Entertainment, free, and the best. And also a little bit of cult following. You're joining a cult to be here. That's the only catch. You got to be part of the cult, and you must do everything I say at all times. After you gain respect. If I have a proven strategy, then why don't I create an EA? Cause it's bullshit, man. Bots are stupid. Think about it. Why aren't I using MetaTrader? I am. This is TradingView. I don't trade on TradingView. I trade on MetaTrader. TradingView is much nicer. You can see, obviously, by how nice this chart looks. See how nice that is? See how nice that is? Look at this. Look how nice this is. Isn't that easy to read? UJ, let's go. Yeah, let's go UJ. You guys literally requested every single yen pair today. So that's just a slow, steady decline, isn't it? Also here, slow, steady decline. Why is that there? Oh, that's because I have liquidity here that I'm looking for. Okay. Stops there. I see. Okay. I just gotta, every time you guys suggest a chart, I just have to remind myself of what's going on. Because I don't look at them each day anymore. Honestly, it looks bullish. This just looks like a simple bull flag. We're pulling back to this level here, right? On the higher time frame, right? I think it's gonna rally, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Yeah, look at this smaller time frame too. Okay. Now then, the question though is, when do we want to long? Well, not yet. It does look like, oh, okay, boom, it's going up, and then boom, it's going up. We want to jump in. Let's go. But no, let's not do that. Let's actually be smart and wait. Cause look, let's look here. What's actually happening? Well, this was a big move down, and it did close above that level. But then it rejected off of here, right? Like super quickly. So this could easily have just been a fake out, right? So I'm not completely convinced about that. And then what is this? We're just retesting this level, isn't it? Right? Isn't that? And then look at this. Sweeping these highs. You know, this looks like it could easily continue down. Sweeping those highs, retesting that again. Easily continue down, and we could make lower lows all the way down to, yeah, roughly here, but that's basically where we already hit, isn't it? I don't know, guys. It's a little bit up in the air. We gotta wait, but I think on the higher time frame we're looking at longs, right? Longs up to this purple, right? There's going to be nice liquidity here, untested level. That's going to be great to short off of, right? So we want to short for there. So that means we can long to it, probably. But it's not convinced yet. Maybe tomorrow we'll take a look. I don't know. USD higher low. Higher low doesn't mean anything, really. Higher low actually means nothing. Sorry to say. We need to make a higher high, right? We need to break above that. The higher low is just simply consolidation, right? Pizza, right? And we're stopping people out. Sweep, stopping. We're breaking down. We're in the downtrend. Yeah, there's no reason. Session time indicator right here, dude. Sessions London, New York, Asian. That's what it's called. Yeah, we already looked at GJ, I believe. I've been taking CO2 Go. Cool name, man. Been taking a lot of content, been trading a small lot. So if you ever enter a trade and soon realize that it was a bad entry, would you close it out or let it ride to the stop loss? That's actually a good question, man. So it's gonna kind of depend on the situation. I'm thinking, okay, so you said, and then you realize, and you soon realize that it was a bad entry. Okay, so what I would say is, if nothing has changed in the market, I would say leave it going, right? Because you had a reason to enter that trade. If you didn't have a good reason to enter that trade, then you shouldn't have entered that trade, right? You should only enter the trade when you have a clear-cut pattern that you're following, that you say that, okay, I win 60% of the time when I trade that pattern, right? So when you see that pattern, again, you trade it no matter what. No matter what, when you see that pattern, you trade it. Unless that pattern is also being present on the other side, right? Or another pattern that you know the data for is present on the other side, right? So unless you have data for two different conflicting views, then you wouldn't enter it. But if you only have data for one view, and you know 60% of the time when I see that, I make money, you enter no matter what. If you're not following that, you shouldn't have been trading in the first place. But if you soon realize that it's a bad trade because something has changed in the market, so let's say you've entered this long right here, for example. You say, okay, something told me to long here, and I longed. I wanted to long on this retest rather. Okay, so this is a good example. You see, this is a rally, and you say, okay, I want to long on that rally retest or something like that, right? And you have a resting order there, right? But after it hits, you look at the market, and because you were pinged, you were pinged, okay, your position has been entered. So you go and look at the trade, and now you see, okay, shit, these wicks were going above that level. This is a pattern that I know will make money for the shorts in the long run, right? I know that that's a pattern that's going to cause me to lose this trade, right? So then I would just exit, because now the market has actually changed what it was showing you. Because before you only saw up to here, right? The breakout or whatever, you only saw up to there. But now you see, okay, shit, now there's conflicting views. So now that I'm in it, okay, I'm going to get out, right? Hopefully that answers your question, man. That's a really good question. That's probably one of the better questions, man. I like that. How much were you working on learning in the beginning? Like, few people talk about productivity of work and discipline. Yeah, I was working for probably about 16 hours a day doing this, man. It was like my entire life. Maybe not 16. Minimum of 12 every single day. Minimum of 12 I was doing learning, trading, things like this. And I can do that because I was working an IT job where I didn't have to really do much shit, right? So Hunter, I've been in your Discord a lot, chatting with people, seeing some of your videos, practicing stuff. Closed my week today. Yeah, man, 172 pips profit. Track your, this is my advice, track your profit in terms of R. So, risk reward. So if you took this trade, right, and you closed out of here, you made 1.5 R, right? Track it in that way, because pips don't mean shit, right? Because you could make 100 pips on one trade and be betting very little, and then lose 10 pips on another trade, but have bet 10 times harder, and you would be break even, right? So pips don't mean anything. What broker do I use? Yeah, check out the Discord. There's some links under the suggested channel. You can see the brokers I like. I use a couple. Let's look at EA. Yeah, nice. Okay, I remember this one. What's going on here? What's going on? Oh man, remember? Okay, this was a few days ago, and I was talking to you guys about how I wanted to get in on that weekly broken test weekly broken base retest. Gosh damn, there's too many R's in the word week. It's hard to say when there's so many R's in week. Yeah, so we didn't get that, but that was the bias. So now the question is it going to reject? Yeah, it's a bit, I'm not keen on this. There's nothing to do necessarily. It's really choppy, which makes me want to not trade it at all. And then secondly, it's coming up on this zone here, so we could break down, but it is an uptrend on the week so far. It's been uptrending this entire week, so why would you short it, right? Going into the next week, if it rejected off of this, we could say, okay, very clearly we're going back into this major downtrend. But right now, because we're day trading, we don't want to short that, right? Next week most likely we'll get a short in. Mind you, I won't, but I'll tell you guys too, right? Maybe a short. It could come up because this looks promising, right? But a short for a day or two would be fine. I could do a short for a day or two. Thanks for the answer. Been learning for a month. Your contact is great. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Analyze GJ. I already looked at GJ. What was the biggest light bulb? Logging and backtesting. Logging and backtesting strategies. I also got ideas off of people who were already profitable that I knew were profitable, not just like YouTube talking heads. Yeah, and then I back tested different ideas that I got off of them. I changed things around, just came up with different theories, man. That's the biggest, there's not really a light bulb moment. In terms of discipline, there's different like light bulb moments where you get tired of losing and there's not really that excitement in trading anymore. So now when I approach the market, I just hang out. I come up here, I wake up at midnight, I come up here, it's London Open, and I'll sit down, I'll put on a YouTube video or something, I'll learn about frickin', what is it? I was watching best dang B-roll before I even started streaming here. I'll throw on something like that, I'll learn about videos, right? And I'll just like watch those, and then on my other monitor, I'll look at the screen and I'll say, okay, is it something I want to trade? Just like, it's much more casual now, and that really helped my discipline, where I don't feel like I want to trade every day. And if I don't see a trade in a session, I just won't trade it, right? I only accept like things that have to pop out to me, right? And the other thing would be, that's really useful, is just planning. Pre-planning is really helpful. Pre-planning, especially if you're looking at multiple pairs, you'll have to plan all of them. See, like, okay, write down what you're thinking about each pair. I sometimes put down my logic in Discord here of what I'm thinking about. Yeah, if you weren't here for GJ, man, you can watch the stream back. It's going down, dude. I forget what we said. What did we say? Oh, we were looking to short it up here to see if people get swept out, and then we'll short it. But that'll be tomorrow. I think probably tomorrow. What's my biggest loss, biggest win? Biggest loss was my entire account in 5 minutes. Biggest win was 11 times what I risked. Which, it's not all that much. My biggest win in dollar amount was probably a few thousand. I don't know exactly the dollar amount, but it wasn't that much. And my biggest loss was my entire account, and I think it was only like 1,500. And that was when I was early on and I didn't know what I was doing. Right, it was like 1,500. It was lost in 5 minutes. And then before that, my biggest loss was the first day I ever joined BitMEX, the crypto trading exchange. The first day, I didn't know how to use it, and I lost $1,000 instantly. It's so friggin' stupid, man. They warn you too. They're like, okay, this is dangerous. This shit is dangerous. Like, don't do anything stupid. Yeah, how did I lose my account? I actually told this story on stream once, and I gotta record it one time, and then I'll post it. It was just like someone who I thought I knew what he was doing, and this is why, like, I warn you guys, man, to like don't do the strategies like the freaking one on Jeremy Cash's site there, the scalping thing. This is exactly how I lost on an entire account in 5 minutes. It's the exact same shit, basically. I was following someone, but it was like live, and he was like telling me what to do, right? I'll tell you the story in like a video at some point, because then like everyone can watch it. Well, I already told it, and I thought this guy was freaking genius, because we were making mad money, right? Every single day we were locking profits, and then because we didn't know how to actually trade and manage our risk properly, it just poof, right away, gone, everything. Am I classified as a retail trader? Yeah, I trade my own equity and a prop firm's equity. Or, I don't know what you want to call it, a prop firm or a hedge fund or a broker or something. I trade investor funds and my own equity, yeah. Would I ever trade crypto again? I long-term trade crypto, yeah. Long-term trade crypto. What's going on in EU here? How's GU doing? Yeah. This would be cool. This would be really cool for a GU short. I can't do it today. I would love, absolutely, I would love this to happen tomorrow, right? What do we got here for the rest of today? I don't know. New York is going to end here, right? So if we go like that and just kind of like range around, right? And then London, something like that. Then I could get a short again, right? I would love to short this line right here. But I think it's going to be hit before London. And I don't allow myself to trade. I want it to hit at London. That would be perfect. Almost blowing my first account. Feels so bad. Let the emotions completely destroy my trade. Yeah, I remember those emotions like so bad, man. Like every single time I would be like trading or whatever, and one like I'd be like I would be struggling or whatnot, and some days would be good and I'd feel so good, and then most days would just be like kind of like bleh, but nothing like too crazy, and then like there would be these big losses occasionally, like $300-$500, something like that, and I would just feel crushed, man, and I would just go on like moping around for so long, and luckily now that, you know, eventually you just, there's, you know, somebody talked about earlier, like a light bulb switches, right, and you just say, fuck it, I'm done doing this stupid shit, right? And I said that like so many times, but then there's like one time that's like, it's like a little bit different, right? There's going to be like one time that's just a little bit different, and now you start just putting up so much more work, analyzing different things in different ways. You start looking differently at the market, and then you don't go for like these, like, you don't try to make money anymore. That's like the thing. That's the thing. You just try to improve now. Cult leader, how do you woo women? Oh man. Well, generally I don't woo them, man. They hit on me. Yeah. But can I ask you, what the fuck plan did you trade to pass the FTMO test? I haven't actually passed yet. I'm halfway done. This is the first week. I'm vlogging it all. Every single day I'm showing all the trades. The trades are in the Discord, so on the weekend, watch that video, guys. And you share it around too. Like, show it to, you know, some of these other gurus or whatever, because or like their fans or whatever, because like a lot of these people, like they were giving me like mad hate because I said I didn't want to show my actual account balance. So this way, you know, they can at least feel bad that they called me fake or whatever, right? Once they see that I basically pass FTMO in 1 week, risking I'm average risking 0.4% per trade right now. So somebody asked, has your opinion changed on Trader Nick and Ty? Ty, I have a even worse opinion on him based off of how he reacted, because I barely said anything about him and he completely went nuts over it. And Trader Nick, I have a much more respect for. I actually had a call with him yesterday, and we chatted for like an hour. He's a super nice guy, man, and I totally understand like where he's coming from, right? And he's much more of like a business type of guy. That's kind of like why, you know, I didn't really like hate him or anything before. It's just yeah. I never hated him. I never disliked him at all, actually. It might have seemed that way, but I have more respect for him now. We've made fun of him kind of in the past, but He's one of the better ones for sure. Basically, we've made fun of every single guru, so it doesn't really say much. I bought Hunter's book and made 2%. That's awesome, dude. Hopefully that 2% is more than the book cost. How can I learn to read a chart like that? Man, you're doing it right now. You're learning. Right now we're just kind of chatting. Because the stream, I don't like streaming for like longer than an hour without just like fucking around at the end, because this is fun, man. I like doing this. Hopefully you guys have fun just like fucking around, asking questions. But of actual trading on the stream, I just like to keep it like for like 30-40 minutes, something like that. What's up, Tyro, man? Good to see you. I have big losses and bad risk management. Then stop doing it then, man. And then you rage trying to compensate. What? Just stop doing it. Okay. Here's the thing. You know, I'm gonna give you a tip. I'm gonna give you a tip, and you're not gonna listen. But this is what you should do. Figure out every single trade. Risk less than 1%. 1% maximum. Because you're already sucking at trading, right? So you can assume no matter what you risk, you're gonna lose, right? Over the long run. So risk 1%, because that way you're losing slower. That's it. You're learning for less cost, basically. That's what it is at that point. And then, you know, managing your trades or whatever. Here's the next thing. Anytime you feel uncomfortable in a position, close it. So you got to start paying attention to your emotions, right? You got to like kind of, that's why like meditation is good. You're paying attention to the present self, right? You're paying attention to what's actually going on, not thinking about what could be in the future, which is what our modern day lives are about, is thinking about what I want in the future. All this nice car, this vacation I'm going on, I want to go home from work or something like that. Pay attention to the current state. Pay attention to your body, right? Pay attention to your emotions. That's what meditation's about, and that actually helps you realize what emotions you're currently feeling while trading, right? So anytime you feel uncomfortable, leave the trade. Anytime ever, right? And anytime that you feel uncomfortable again, stop trading, right? So if you're mad at the market, it's the same rule basically. Anytime you ever feel uncomfortable, close out everything and stop trading. It's just so simple, but you're not gonna follow it. I guarantee you don't follow that rule for like a year of losses. You're gonna be losing for like a year, and that's why I say risk 1%. Because then you lose less. How do you order my book? hunterfx.co. You go to the website. AstroFX course made me go from $1 to 1 million in a week. Yeah, good, man. Or no, to 1M. Yeah, to 1M. So that could be anything. 1M. So you spent your dollar on one letter M that you hang up on your wall. A big letter M, like front door numbers. Big letter M. You flip it upside down, and then it's a win. It's a W. $1 well spent. God, that's a freaking stupid joke. Man, I'm trying so hard to be funny. That's so stupid. Oh god. Odd NZD. What's going on, odd NZD? Oh shit, man. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so the logic here was we knew that it didn't touch here, right? So that's where I put that magnet. And it was going to come up even higher. I bet this is like... I bet it just goes up a little bit more. And then it completely dumps down. That's my guess. Just based off of what I've seen, like, generally. A move like this into major high time frame support. Or resistance, rather. What is wrong with this cat? You guys can't see it. Yeah, you guys can't see it, but this friggin' cat behind me right here. Wait, where is it? There's like a lava lamp thing there on the ground now. He just tried to climb over it, and it's just like in the corner. I was cleaning up and I found this lava lamp thing and I put it there. He like tried to hurdle it. He just knocked it over. He had it like sticking into his belly and he's like holding over it and he's just standing there. God, man. Okay, what are you guys saying here? So how do I identify high probability support and resistance or breakthroughs? So if it's untested, like this, it's probably going to reject off of the first time because we know there's a lot of resting orders still sitting there. Every single time that it's tested, that level gets weaker, right? And then another note is if it's tested on the same flat line over and over, we know that more and more people are accumulating stops there. So we know that it's actually going to go through it and stop people out, right? Funnier when I don't try. Yeah, the joke's on you, man. I'm always trying to be funny. Is Astra FX course good? I don't know, man. I got it if you want it. It's in the Discord. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's secret. Don't tell anyone. It's in a secret folder. I think some people have it in the Discord. You can ask in the Discord if somebody has it. They'll send it to you. So you can determine for yourself if it's good. I mean, it's crap, but they're all crap. What risk reward do I usually trade with? Minimum of 2. Ideally, I'm looking for 3. If it's over 5, then I think it's going to be like a multi-day trade probably. So I'll look to get out majority of it and then re-enter maybe later. Already looked at GA, dude. Yeah, God, that cat's so annoying, man. We're trying to like train him to like stop meowing now by like ignoring him. He just does weird shit. Just really weird shit. His meowing's getting like super like loud and he just keeps meowing. So we just gotta like ignore him now until it's better. I'm trying to like teach him like a toddler to like stop crying, basically. Trader Nick just gave a GJ signal. Is it Trader Nick or is it one of his allies there? As a buy at 130.35. Till when? Is it day trade? So we do think that it's coming up here, right? We just talked about that, didn't we? I wouldn't take this trade though. Why? You guys tell me, man. What's the most obvious thing right now? Why wouldn't you long this? I mean, it could definitely go up there. This is my guess. This is his trade, right? 130.35. This is his trade? Wait, 130.35. Right? Something like this? This is my guess of what his trade is. Let me know if I'm right. If that's roughly what his trade is. The blue and purple areas are just support and resistance, dude. Supply and demand. That's all it is. Lower highs, lower lows. Boom. I-Hus. You win the prize. Joseph, you win second prize. Wong, you win third prize. Good work, guys. Good work. I think this is the trade he was looking for, right? Did I study under Chris Laurie? You spelled his name wrong, but or ICT. I remember watching Chris Laurie a little bit on YouTube because I do remember the name and I remember him being smart, and I heard ICT a lot. I learned my methods of trading not through them. It was kind of a blend of my own ideas mixed with some other people that I knew. For all I know, they learned similar things from these guys too, or from institutional same sources, something like that. I don't know. But I know that I trade very similar to both of them. And I'm learning their stuff now to see why everyone keeps telling me that we're similar. And, you know, it's nice. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. But, yeah. I would be looking for a short right here, guys. Depending on how it reacts there, right? Up here, a little bit higher, though. If this is the trade that he's looking to take, I mean, it's got a good R, but the logic doesn't make much sense. Right? At least in my opinion. Alright. So you got, this is the move that's bringing you down, right? And we're not even closing above it. If we want to look, let's look at the 1 minute. That's where he's shorting, isn't it? Okay, this makes sense. This makes sense why he's shorting right there. Or longing right there. It was 35 or something, wasn't it? It was like right here. Yeah, that one. It makes sense. But I wouldn't do it. Like, he's got good entry, good exit, but he's going in the wrong direction. That's the thing. So, yeah. So you just watched my video about, you know, kind of making fun of other gurus for selling signals or whatever. Ruling out purchasing courses or saying do your due diligence. I was just basically saying that I wasn't saying don't purchase things from these guys, and I wasn't saying that they don't know how to trade, right? I think a lot of them don't know how to trade, and they're just kind of using the YouTube to make money that way. But some of them, they definitely do know how to trade, right? I think, you know, Daniel Savage is one of them that actually does know how to trade, and I think I put his name down. So I do think that he knows how to trade. I think that his lifestyle is funded from some sort of signal or something like that, though. At least partially, right? And that's basically what I was saying, is that you shouldn't believe that these guys are living off of their trading earnings and buying Lambos based off of their trading earnings. They're buying Lambos because they... Every time you speak, it sounds like you're in the ocean. They're buying Lambos because they sell these courses, these signals and stuff, and they make a lot of money that way. I can tell you for sure. DJ rallying, yeah. I mean, Trader Nick might be right about this, right? It's a good trade. It's a good trade. It's just the wrong direction, right? So I wouldn't take it. Good thing I didn't mention you. Is the mentoring expensive? My mentoring? Yeah, it's pretty expensive. I get a lot of requests for it, so I make it very expensive so that I don't waste my time. Because I only want to take really serious traders. And if you're interested, you have to book a call, man. If you don't have a couple grand on you, then don't even think about it. You are knowledgeable about trading, but the other guys you cited, most of them are not gurus. Okay. Okay. Yeah, most likely actually the leasing out cars. Like, that's actually really common in any field. Like business guys, they like to lease high-end cars. You know, Lambos, whatever, McLarens, whatever. I know my one buddy, he's actually leasing a McLaren, and it's $12K a month. And you know, that's not crazy expensive, right? But you lease it for a year, and then you get people messaging you, people seeing you on the streets, bringing business proposals to you because they're interested in what you have, right? And it brings you attention. So that's generally just a really common thing among all businesses, right? Including, look at like real estate. Such a chat response. Look at real estate, man. All realtors, they'll drive like a freaking what's the word? Not Mazda. Mercedes. That's the one. Mercedes. They'll all like freaking drive Mercedes. Alright, man. I have no track record. I'm literally proven. I'm gonna just freaking look at this. This is the FTMO, right? This is how I'm proving it to you guys. Took me 3 days to get halfway done the FTMO. You can see the trades right here, right? 3 days. Go fuck yourself. I'm tired of that shit. You should learn from Nick Shaw. I've heard Nick Shaw is a decent. Yeah, I've heard of. I watched a couple of his things. It just seemed like, he actually seemed like he knew what he was doing. I haven't really watched him though. Yeah, Range Rover, shit like that. Yeah. Do I trade gold? Nah, man. Gold's just a little bit too. It's more fundamental than I would like. It's a little bit really wicky around, really choppy often. What do you think about indicators? Don't use any indicators, man. If FTMO means nothing, yeah, okay, get the fuck out then, man. You don't have to believe me, dude. That's the thing. I'm never gonna show you my actual personal funds. Do you ever just walk up to a doctor and say, show me how much money you make? No, go fuck yourself, man. It offends people, right? Stop trying to be so... what's the word? Like, stop trying to act like you deserve this, man. You don't deserve anything. You don't deserve me to prove anything to you. I'm only doing this so that you guys will actually trust what I say, right? I guarantee no other guru is going to go out there and show you that they can do this live. I'm literally recording it all on my phone, man. And on Friday, I'm going to post it. And you're going to see all of the trades I took live, right? So everyone can know that I basically freaking passed the test in 1 week, man. I would have been done already now, too, if I wasn't risking so little. This fucking guy, man. God. I'm starting to just get, like, super mad at this shit. Yeah, I know, like... like, this is why I know that you guys are still around here. Because I know the content I actually teach is, I don't know if it's necessarily, like, the best, but I think I break it down the best so that you guys can understand, right? So I know that a lot of people have been messaging me saying, it's great, the stuff that you teach is really easy to understand, and I've been making money now, right? Even just from watching streams sometimes. FTMO challenge is done after I make 10%. So I'm currently up 13R. So I'm up 13 times what I risked. So normally I actually only risk 1%, but right now I'm average risking 0.4%. Just because I want to go at it slowly, right? Because I know the rules of FTMO are very strict. And I'm actually, it's a little bit lucky how well I'm doing, because I have 0 drawdown. I've won every single day so far. So that's like a little bit lucky. Like usually I don't make money every day. Some days I lose. So I just, you know, Stop getting triggered, man. It's weird though that the thing that is triggering me, man, is when people come into the stream, right? The comments are fine, like, because the comments are just like tons, right? But why would you join a stream like trying to learn something? Everyone's like trying to learn, like ask questions here and whatnot, and I know we're kind of just like fucking around at this point. We're not really like learning, but why would you join the stream and then just start asking, demanding for shit? It doesn't make sense. Like, do you go to a restaurant and you start demanding that the chef like starts making something else, or like I don't know, it just kind of is really weird. It's like really offensive, like go where somebody's working and just like tell them to do something. It's fucked, man. It's so fucked up. God, this shit, man. Fucking, you know, it's like half makes me freaking rage, half just makes me fucking laugh. But AU, man, we were gonna take a short here, I remember, like a couple days ago, but I wasn't sold on it. It was like right here. It was coming up, oh shit, where was it? It was coming up to retest this level after we broke down, right? We had a really strong breakdown, came up to retest, and I wanted to short right about here, right on that, right? But I didn't see any like breakdown here, and then we missed it. We missed that trade there. We weren't watching it when it actually started to break down, breaking below this level right here, right, to bring us to the high. Right, that level. And then we would have been able to short it all the way down to these lows easily, right? Stop above. But as of now, man, as of now, we don't have anywhere higher to go. I think it's going to break down further. There's nothing else for us to do on the upper side, right? There's nowhere for us to go. Everything's been tested. You know, we could get a rally up to here tomorrow or something. But on the longer term, I think we're coming down here. Below these, stop those out. I think so. That would make a lot of sense. So we might be able to just ride this down all next week too. There's nothing bullish about this in my opinion right now. I think so. What time frame is best for trading? It completely depends on your trading style, my man. For me, I have the most luck when I put the 1 hour here, because I'm day trading. I put the 1 hour on top, and then I put the 5 minute on the bottom. And then I'm looking for levels within the day on the 5 minute, right? And I'm looking at the overall trend and the big major candles to see how the candles are printing on the hourly, right? And then from there, I switch to the 1 minute sometimes when I want to pinpoint an entry, pinpoint reversals, right? But yeah, you can do whatever is good for you. I would suggest that though if you're day trading. That's my best. I demand you say fuck off to everyone. Yeah, man. FTMO is great. I'm doing it myself. It's a great way to learn risk management, and rules are very strict. Yeah, I know a couple FTMO funded traders. I didn't do it before because I was already doing stuff for somebody else. But FTMO, like, you got to be very strict, like follow their rules. Like these guys I knew, they basically follow the rules like so perfectly. They have high win rate, right? They don't ever really go into drawdown. That's the way you got to win FTMO, right? It's just super strict. And that's why that I wanted to do the challenge on FTMO, because I knew FTMO was the most reputable and the most secure, right? Like if you can pass FTMO, then you're like one of the best traders, right? Because you're day trading with very strict rules, proper risk management, right? You can't trade the news, you can't hold over the weekend, right? You have to follow the strictest rules. That's the best one to do, and it's the most reputable, right? People believe it. What leverage do I use? Leverage doesn't matter. Use the highest. What did Mahmood say? He's just like demanding that I like show him how much money I make, basically. And I told him to go eat himself. If you're a good trader, a prop trader in the house, if you're a good trader, what potential profit you make per month with my strategy? Anywhere between 5 and 20% usually. Yeah, I mean you can make more, but I'm not that good. I'm not that good, man. I'll get better though. Maybe we'll be able to make like 30% one day. That'd be cool. I would think day traders, like good day traders, would be able to make like 30% a month. Like that would probably be like the limit, I would think, if you're trading properly, right? Like not being an idiot. Anything more than that is just like somebody like fake or with poor risk management. Session colors, session, there you go. London, New York, Asia, session. Those gurus making a ton of money from their courses, and they say they just put a fraction of it on their broker and say, here's my account balance. And their money means nothing. My current thoughts. Yeah. Alright, man. Brothers, risk management, very important. Yeah, risk management is the most important thing. It's very easy to do too. There's 3 important things to trading, right? 3. Lesson time. 3. 1, risk management. Here, I'll teach you risk management in 1 sentence. Use 1% of your account per trade. Lose 1% of your account for every loss. That's risk management. That's all you have to do. Number 2, a trade strategy. The strategy has to make more money in the long term than it loses. That could mean you have a higher win rate. That could mean that your winners are bigger than your losers. Doesn't matter. 3, psychology. You have to know when to stop being an idiot. You have to know when to not to trade. Boom. That's the hardest one. There's only 3 things you need to do. Psychology is the hardest one to master. Strategy is, if you're lazy, you'll never figure out a good strategy, because you actually have to log things, right? You actually have to figure out what strategies work long term, and if you don't do that, you'll never be profitable. I can guarantee it. If you guys are not logging and writing down the win rate of different strategies, what variables make you win more or less, if you're not doing that, you will never be profitable. I can say this stuff with almost certainty because it's, I say things like that bluntly because for 99% of people, maybe 95, I don't know, doesn't matter the number, you're going to need to do that. You're going to need to do everything you can, right? And if you don't do everything you can, then somebody else is going to make money and you're just being lazy and you just want an easy way out, right? That's all it is, as bluntly as it is. I only take trades at UK Open and the US Open. So to reiterate, you don't take any trades in between. No, man. I wake up and right at the London Open, I'll start looking for some sort of continuation into the trend, sweeping of stops, things like this, right? Basically the way I'm trading, right? Looking for manipulation, right? And I'm trying to trend trade the whole time. And then if I don't see anything by about 3 a.m., I'll just wait. I don't want to take any trades between like 3 to 5 because I know that there's just going to be more manipulation come New York Open. So I don't want to be a part of that. So I'll wait for it on the New York Open. We'll see what we can find and then enter a trade there. After that, the day's just kind of dull and I really want the powerful trends. Look at this. We didn't actually take this. Mind you, it's not confirmed though, is it? Let me see. Yeah, this would have been the... Oh shit, man. If I was paying more attention, I would have shorted right here. I would have shorted that. This would have been the trade, guys. And then I would have gotten super nervous, because I always get nervous. I still have emotions, guys. I still have emotions, I just don't react to them. I freak out. I just don't do anything about it. This would have been the trade. Passing an FTMO challenge isn't enough for you, then carry on. Go somewhere else.